Good morning, everyone present here. Youth Parliament is a platform offered to the youngsters where they are given a mock parliament setup. Youth Parliament is a platform offered to the youngsters where they are given a mock parliament setup and exposure to the parliament type debate. It is significant due to following reasons. In order to create a set of youngsters who have an idea of the parliament, the best way to make them set in that environment. It is a platform to discuss the national issues on a large scale in a proper form, to develop in students an insight into the working parliament, to make students to discuss the public issues and make their opinion, to create in students the quality of leadership. So, our students are also ready to develop all these qualities and to showcase them in front of you.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I cordially welcome you all to the session of the Youth Parliament. Hope this session would be a fruitful one as we set it to deliberate the important matters concerning the nation. Today's first business is oath. Secretary General, please.
Ms. Avni Sharma, who stands elected for Pali constituency of Rajasthan, will now take the oath or the affirmation. Ma'am, do you want to take the oath or the affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language do you want to take the oath?
In English, please.
I, Avni Sharma, having been elected as a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as by law established, that I will hold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Honorable members, as we meet today, it is my sad duty to inform the House of demise of our former colleague, Shri Suresh Chandra. Shri Suresh Chandra was an agriculturist by profession and active social worker. He worked in rural areas, devoting his time and energy to the welfare of agricultural laborers. He was the president of Mazdoor Sabha, an able parliamentarian and effective orator. He took a keen interest in proceeding the House. He passed away at New Delhi on 29th
rise to pay my tributes to Sri Suresh Chandra, whose death has been deeply mourned by all of us. He was a young man who came from a family of freedom fighters and whose father had made a name for himself, and his tradition was carried by the family. He was with us to the very last moment. He seemed to be well and happy, and therefore the shock of his passing away was all the greater. He had a bright future before him. I should like to extend my deep condolence to this family.
Madam, I associate myself with the tributes paid by you and the leader of the house. I had the privilege to work with Suresh Chand as a colleague. He was a person who, because of his lovable nature, never annoyed anyone. And he was always with a smiling face and was very open-hearted person. We have lost a good social worker, political worker, and a public man in him. I would like to associate myself and my party in sending condolences to the bereaved family. The house may stand in silence for a while to express our deep sorrow. Prime Minister may introduce new ministers to the House.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I have deep, immense pleasure in introducing to you and through you to the House my colleague, the new ministers. Ms. Dhara, Honorable Minister of Irrigation. And Mr. Edric, Honorable Minister of Food and Civil Supply.
Now question hour starts. Question number 101, Ms. Phulera. Honorable Speaker, Madam, question number 101 through you. Will the Minister of Finance be pleased to state whether the government is contemplating to introduce Indian national rupee for international trade settlement as a mechanism? If so, the details thereof and the benefit the country would achieve from this move. Also, to which extent the launch of this international trade in Indian rupee would help exporters, importers, traders and exchequers.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, through you, I would like to inform that the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has allowed it to invoicing and the payments on the international trade by the Indian rupees. YAP by the DIRCDs. Circular number 10 of 2022 to 2023 dated 11/7/2022 on the international trade settlement to the Indian rupees. The broad framework between the two trade transactions is under the FEMA. In 1999, FEMA has allowed it invoicing, which is already set in the circular dated 11/7/2022. The circular laid down that all the exporters and the importers under the arrangements may be allowed to invoices between the rate of the two currencies by the two trading partner countries and will shall taken by the INR.
Miss, do you have any supplementary? Yes, Honorable Madam. Honorable Finance Minister, whether this decision will help the government to reduce the country's trade deficit caused by imports from various countries? If so, the details thereof, along with the time by which it is likely to be implemented, and whether the government has introduced trading in rupee with those countries also with which it has trade deficit, other than those from where oil is imported. If so, the details thereof.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, as I mentioned above, that RBI has put in the place the arrangements to reduce the dependence on the hard currency. आयनार ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यापार के लिए चालन एवं भुगतान की अनुमति के लिए RBI द्वारा स्थानों पर रखे गए ढांचे किसी भी भागीदारी देश के लिए लागू होते हैं और जो भी भागीदारी देश RBI के साथ व्यापार करना चाहता है उन्हें परिपत्र दैनिक 11/7/2022 के मुताबिक पहले ही अनुमति दे दी गई है. Honorable Speaker Ma'am, through you, I want to ask the Minister of Defense. We saw in Galwan how the Chinese soldiers came there with of sticks and weapons. Our soldiers who were also there did not carry even some weapons. Yet, their training came in handy and they taught Chinese soldiers a lesson. This is a result of training, and long training makes soldiers better. So, will the Agniveer be able to fight in this situation with their short-term training?
Speaker ma'am, through you, I would like to inform it is not necessary that all the Agniveers will be given combat roles only. In military, there are different types of jobs. In Indian Army, there are more than 150 different departments like training, transportation, engineering, cleaning. So the Agniveer who will be best at combat roles will only be given duty at borders, and rest will be given duty of day-to-day activities.
Honorable Speaker Ma'am, by the scheme, government want to add more youth in the army. But after 4 years, if they will go to college for getting degree, they have to complete with 8 to 9. Will prefer young children instead of ex-agnivees. So, what the government will do?
Honorable Speaker ma'am, through you, in these 4 years, they will not go to college, but they can do self-study with the help of books and mobile phones. And now, if we talk about jobs, if they want to be entrepreneur, they will get 12 lakh rupees and bank preference to get a loan. They are given priority in CRPF, Assam Rifles, Armed Forces and Police Forces. And the major companies like IIT, Security, Engineering have also said that they will prefer ex-agnivees than civilians. Any supplementary, please?
प्रधानमंत्री जी, आपने आपके भाषण में अनेक वादे किए हैं। आपने कहा प्रधानमंत्री के शब्द का मतलब होना चाहिए, उन्हें गंभीरता से लेना चाहिए। मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा प्रधानमंत्री जी, आपने कहा हर भारतीय के अकाउंट में 15 लाख रुपए होंगे। आपने कहा हर वर्ष 2 करोड़ युवाओं को रोजगार मिलेगा, परंतु सच्चाई यह है कि सिर्फ 4 लाख युवाओं को ही पिछले वर्ष रोजगार मिला था। कई आपके शब्दों के खोखलेपन की। आंकड़ों के अनुसार चाइना प्रतिदिन 50,000 युवाओं को रोजगार दे रहा है, हिंदुस्तान सिर्फ 400 लोगों को। आगे सुनिए, राफेल हवाई जहाज की डील यूपीए सरकार के समय 560 करोड़ में हुई थी। पता नहीं प्रधानमंत्री जी किससे मिले, किससे बात की, यूपीए राफेल की कीमत 1600 करोड़ हवाई जहाज प्रति हो गई। डिफेंस मिनिस्टर से पूछा गया तो उन्होंने कहा कि वह दाम बताएगी।
मैंने कहा था मैं दाम नहीं बता सकती और मैं दाम अब भी नहीं बताऊंगी।
प्लीज ये लोग सुन लो, फिर मैं बोली मैं दाम नहीं बता सकती। क्यों भाई? क्योंकि फ्रांस और इंडिया के बीच सीक्रेसी पैक्ट साइन हुआ है। मैं फ्रांस गया, मैंने वहां के राष्ट्रपति से बात की, उन्होंने कहा हमारे बीच ऐसा कोई भी साइन पैक्ट नहीं हुआ है। पीएम के दबाव में डिफेंस मिनिस्टर ने झूठ बोला। टच ऑफ नर्वसनेस, पीएम इज नॉट लुकिंग इनटू माय आईज। अब बात करते हैं चाइना पॉलिसी की। पीएम ने चाइना प्रेसिडेंट के साथ गुजरात में नदी किनारे जब झूला उसके कुछ दिन बाद 1000 चीनी सैनिक अगर हिंदुस्तान की टेरिटरी में घुस जाए तब प्रेसिडेंट वापस जाकर सेना को लाते हैं और हमारे सैनिक वहां पे चाइना सैनिक सेना के सामने खड़े होते हैं, ना कि पीएम।
और पीएम के शब्दों का मतलब नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर आप इंडिया और चाइना को कंपेयर करें तो चाइना की गवर्नमेंट का उसकी इकोनॉमी पे 50% से भी ज्यादा हक है, पर इंडिया की गवर्नमेंट का 50% भी नहीं। और अगर हम राफेल डील की बात करें तो 1600 करोड़ में केवल एयरक्राफ्ट ही नहीं, उसके साथ वेपन, मेंटेनेंस और भी कई चीजें जुड़ी है। और ये सेम केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फाइल हुआ था, उन्होंने हमें क्लियर चिट दे दी है पूरी डिटेल्स देखने के बाद। तो क्या आपके पास ये अथॉरिटी है कि आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं? क्या आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट में डाउट कर सकते हैं?
China.
Question number 103, Ms. Diksha. Honorable Madam Speaker, question number 103. Will the Minister of Agriculture be pleased to state what is the share of agriculture in GDP from past 5 years? Along with it, I would also like to inquire about 47% population of India is still directly depending on agriculture for their income. Indeed, it is the only source of income for them. But still, the share of national income is nearly 18%. You agree, right? And it's not fair. That's the main reason why people are shifting from tertiary and secondary sectors from primary sectors. Honorable Sir, what your government is doing? How are you going to sustain laborers for this occupation?
Honorable Speaker, through you, I want to tell them that the GDP share was approximately 16% in the year 2017, and it grown up from in last 5 years. It grown up to 20%, and now in the year 2027, the GDP share by agriculture was approximately 20%. And talking about the economic growth through agriculture is not disappointing. It is approximately 5 lakhs crore rupees. So why are you saying that the economic growth is low? And talking about the agriculture growth in India was grown up to 3.9% from last year.
My second question is on behalf of the most crucial assets of India, farmers. Farmers who are unable to repay loan, how will you deal with them? Are you going to provide them other loan, or are you going to increase their time period, cancel their interest, or you have planned any subsidies for them? Sir, daily their lands are getting auctions. We cannot sit hand in hand, ignoring everything and behaving like nothing happened.
Honorable Speaker, through you, if farmers are unable to repay the loan, their parental trust was freezed for some time by the President, and their time period of repaying the loan, will increase by the President or the Government of India in any bank of India.
Question number 104, Ms. Sushmita.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं सदन के माध्यम से माननीय रेल मंत्री जी से यह प्रश्न पूछना चाहूंगी कि ताजा आंकड़ों के अनुसार रेल दुर्घटनाओं में 2019 से 20 में भारी वृद्धि हुई है एवं जनमाल का नुकसान हुआ है। इसे रोकने के लिए सरकार क्या कदम उठा रही है? मंत्री जी, ना मुंह पोछने की जरूरत है, ना आईना देखने की। अगर खुद का सुंदर चेहरा देखना चाहते हैं तो गरीबों के आंसू पोछने की जरूरत है।
माननीय सभापति महोदया, सागवानी जी द्वारा पूछे गए इस प्रश्न के उत्तर में मैं सदन के समक्ष कुछ आंकड़े प्रस्तुत करना चाहूंगी। वर्ष 2011 से लेकर 13 के बीच कुल 1090 रेल दुर्घटनाएं हुई, यानी 363 प्रति वर्ष, और 2014 तक आते आते यह आंकड़ा और भी बढ़ गया था। चुनाव के बाद जब हमारी सरकार आई तो हमने देखा कि इन्होंने रेल सुरक्षा प्रणाली की तो धज्जियां उड़ा के रखी है। माननीय सभापति महोदया, हमारा सबसे पहला लक्ष्य यही था कि रेल की सुरक्षा प्रणाली को सुधारा जा सके, क्योंकि रेल में सफर कर रहे व्यक्ति की भी कोई राह देख रहा है। हमने उसके स्पीडी ट्रैक रिन्यूअल हेतु अनमैन्ड क्रॉसिंग को हटाने के लिए रेल बजट में सेफ्टी फंड की राशि बढ़ाकर 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए कर दी है, जो कि नॉन लैप्सेबल है, एवं यह सुनिश्चित किया है कि इन सभी कार्यों का संपादन एक समय सीमा में हो। सरकार के इन अथक प्रयासों का यह परिणाम रहा कि 2017 तक आते आते कुल मिलाकर केवल 350 रेल दुर्घटनाएं रह गई, यानी केवल 120 प्रति वर्ष। तो इन सब आंकड़ों से यह तो स्पष्ट हो गया कि रेल दुर्घटनाओं में वृद्धि नहीं हुई है। आप ऐसा कैसे कह सकते हैं? इसके अलावा मैं सदन को यह भी सूचित करना चाहूंगी कि वर्ष 2017 तक आते आते हमने एडवांस वार्निंग प्रणाली, ट्रेन कॉलिजन अवॉइडेंस प्रणाली, ट्रेन प्रोटेक्शन वार्निंग प्रणाली, अल्ट्रासोनिक ब्रोकन रेल डिटेक्शन प्रणाली एवं ऐसी कई अनेक प्रणालियों को विकसित कर लिया है। अभी इनका परीक्षण चल रहा है और परीक्षण समाप्त होते ही इन्हें लागू कर दिया जाएगा। मैं गौरतलब यह भी है कि इस वर्ष हमने रेल बजट में 4,500 अनमैन्ड क्रॉसिंग को हटाने पर जोर दिया है। मैं आप सभी को यह भी सूचित करना चाहूंगी कि यात्रियों की सुरक्षा पर सरकार खास तौर पर ध्यान दे रही है और रेल के सर्वपूर्ण विकास पर जोर दिया जा रहा है। आप सभी से प्रार्थना यही है कि आप सभी रेल पर भरोसा रखें और अपनी योग्यता अनुसार योगदान दें।
Question number 105, Ms. Amrita.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, question number 105. Will the Home Minister please to state that what all steps has the government taken and willing to take to protect the future of the nation?
Honorable Speaker, Madam, through you, I would like to inform that in the wake of the outrage over the kidnapping, rape and murder of minor girls across the various parts of India, the Union Cabinet on 20 April 2018 has approved the promulgation of the Criminal Law Ordinance, which will allow the courts to award death penalty to those who are convicted for raping the children below 12 years of age. Along with it, we have set a time bound on the disposal of cases within 2 months and disposal of appeals within 6 months. And all these measures have a detrimental effect on the perpetrators.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the Home Minister that many people are concerned for the problems occurring due to climate changes in some states like Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. Floods and landslides occur to these climatic disasters. So, I would like to know by the Minister that what are the steps has been taken by the government to protect our future.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, through you, I would like to inform that the Centre has approved over 1,682 crore rupees as additional assistance to the 5 states and a union territory which were hit by floods and landslides last year. The approval of the additional central assistance under the National Disaster Response Fund NDRF to Himachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry was being given by a high-level committee.
Any supplementary, please?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I would like to know by the Minister that many people that I have listened a lot of disturbing news that girls are unsafe at night. They are afraid that something may go wrong with them. Nowadays, women are feeling unsafe at the place itself. It happens due to the present situation in the world. So, I would like to know by the Minister that what are the steps has been taken by the government to protect our future, our women's future in India.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I have an immense pleasure that respected ma'am has asked a question upon this topic. Firstly, the duty and responsibility of our department is to save a woman, and we have placed many CCTV cameras to keep an eye on whatever is going on everywhere, every minute. Secondly, a girl should not feel fear from going outside or doing night jobs or works alone. If something went with a girl wrong, then there is a very strict punishment taken by the government. We are always for their health and their safety.
Question number 106, Master Niven.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, question 106. Will the Minister of Education be pleased to state whether they have any policy of structuring the curriculum of pedagogy? If so, the details and the steps taken by the government are fixed.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, through you, I am glad that my fellow parliament members having this much genuine concern about the new policy of education, NEP 2020. In this contemporary scenario of education, we need to work with what? As the new education policy has been replaced and the NCRTs has revised the books. As per a new education policy, NEP 2020, the textbooks has been revised 4 times in 1975,
in 1988, in 2000, and in 2005. As per the new education policy, it has been revamped. Textbooks should be revised, contain essential core material. Keep in mind such suggestions. The task of modification is under process.
Any supplementary?
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, क्या माननीय शिक्षा मंत्री ये बताने का कष्ट करेंगे कि विद्यालयों में तकनीकी शिक्षा प्रदान करने हेतु वित्तीय सहायता दी जा रही है? क्या स्कूली शिक्षा में ऐच्छिक विषय के चयन हेतु कक्षा 9 से 12 तक के विद्यार्थियों को सुविधा देने की तैयारी की जा रही है?
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं ये सूचित करना चाहती हूँ एनईपी 2020 के साथ क्रियान्वयन की प्रक्रिया शुरू हो चुकी है और वर्तमान में जल्द ही इसके उचित परिणाम देखे जा सकेंगे।
Question number 107, Ms. Lavanya.
Honorable Speaker Madam, through you, I would like to know from Honorable Sports Minister that there is no appropriate nurture talent at school and district level. What initiative you are taking up? And other than that, I would like to know that why we can't have daily sports are in the schools.
Respected Speaker Madam, through you, I would like to give information that the various initiatives targeting school children is that we are launching 1,000 scholarships of rupees 5 lakh each for next 8 years. And we are closely working with Human Resource Development Ministry to link sports with education. We are thinking either to make sports necessary in every school or colleges or having period mark as sport and start evolution in sport. We had already put a committee who will look into this, that how can we implement this law immediately within 1 or 2 months.
Honorable Speaker Madam, through you, I would like to know from Honorable Sports Minister that why it is so difficult for a student to see on sports as a career option, and other than that, how will your government will close the infrastructure funding gap for municipalities, sports and recreational facilities?
Respected Speaker Madam, through you, I would like to give information that sports was primarily considered for health and fitness. It is now that people look it as a lucrative profession, even necessitating assessing sports by medicine. This is why the government has rolled out a slew of initiatives, and government need a plan to maintain and repair these facilities that are disappeared.
Question number 108, Ms. Bhumika.
Honorable Madam Speaker, the Minister of Tourism will please to state that what is the contribution to GDP through tourism. Along with this, I also want to ask that have you planned any national policies for the development of tourism? If yes, then please tell us.
Honorable Speaker Ma'am, through to you, I would like to state that the contribution of tourism towards the GDP in the year 2021 was 5.8%, which is an increase of nearly 44% as compared to the previous year, which was 4.3%. And I would like to draw your attention towards the fact that during the second wave of COVID-19 in the year 2021, our tourism sector had achieved a growth of 40%. Our respected team members have drafted the National Tourism Policy 2022, which is a part of the Indian economy. Secondly, to create jobs and startup opportunities in the tourism sector, and after that, to work towards the green tourism.
As you all know, that due to various factors, our tourist places are getting viewed day by day. Like Taj Mahal is getting built. So what the future steps taken to prevent them? Will you people clean it with your own hands?
Honorable Speaker, it is not true that our tourist places are getting viewed. As we all know that under various government programs, the tourist places and historical cities are on the path of further growth. Our Honorable Prime Minister herself has inaugurated many new tourist places in the country, like Statue of Unity in the year 2018 and recently in the year 2022, Mahakaleshwar Temple project in Ujjain. Although that it is true that our epic monument Taj Mahal is getting viewed day by day. But the strategy of forming Taj Trapezium Zone is working in a positive direction.
Honorable Speaker Madam, through you, will the Minister of Health be pleased to state whether healthcare in rural areas is a major concern? If so, the details and the reasons therefore, and the details of availability of healthcare facilities, including manpower and affordability of facilities to the rural people as well as urban people.
Honorable Speaker Madam, through you I want to inform that the key health indicators such as infant mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate, total fertility rate and the proportion of institutional deliveries etc. and the availability of health human resources and the health infrastructure are poor in rural areas as compared to urban areas. As per the health and as per the National Health Profile 2018, there are 19,810 rural government hospitals with the 27,09,588 beds and 3,772 urban government hospitals with 47,01,173 beds in India. The state-wise details are in connection. As per the Health Management Information System, there are 86,432 doctors in rural areas and 15,964 doctors in urban areas. As per the Health and the Morbidity Survey 2014 and National Sample Survey Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, out-of-pocket expenditure per hospitalized case in the public health facility is rupees 5,369 for the rural and rupees 7,189 for the urban. The OOP in the public health facilities is much lower than the private sector.
What are the details of steps taken to address the problems of rural health both at macro and micro levels and to improve the health sector in rural areas of the country?
Honorable Speaker Madam, support under NHM include the provision of a free host service such as initial health, child health, adolescent health and the family plan universal immunization program and the major discussion as tuberculosis, HIV, AIDS and the borne vector diseases such as malaria disease and Kale hazard atrophy, etc.
Ms. Juyu, supplementary? Yes, ma'am. Whether the government has anticipated and is ready for the second wave of COVID-19 during the winter months in India, and if so, the details and the decisions taken by central and state government in this regard.
Honorable Speaker Madam, all the states and UTs are provided with the necessary financial support under India COVID-19 for emergency response and the health preparedness system package during financial year 2020 and the 21. Funds of rupees 42,581 crore has been released to the states and UTs. In addition, states are being support form of supply of logistics so far rupees 142 crores of PPE kits and 345 crores of N95 masks, 184 crores tablets of hydroxychloroquine and 30,841 ventilators and 1,02,400 oxygen cylinders has been supplied to the state and the central government hospitals so far as reported on 20th September 2020.
Now question hour is over. No more supplementary.
Honorable Speaker Madam, a serious breach of privilege has been committed by leading newspaper of Delhi while commenting on the recommendations of Public Accounts Committee. The paper has attributed dishonest motives and I have requested you to allow me a question on that matter now.
Ms. Diksha, have you given a notice of it earlier? You may give a notice along with a copy of newspaper cutting. I shall consider it. You can't spring a surprise on me like this.
I have already given notice of it at 10 a.m. today.
Secretary to report message from the upper
Madam Speaker, I have to report the following message received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament. In accordance with the provision of the rules of conduct and procedure of business with the Upper House of Youth Parliament, I am directed to enclose a copy of Illegal Migrants Determination by Tribunals Bill 1988 has been passed by the Upper Chamber and its sitting held on November 2020.
Secretary to lay on the table a copy of bill as passed by the upper chamber.
Madam Speaker, I lay on the table of the House the Illegal Migrants Determination by Tribunals Bill 1988 as passed by the Upper Chamber.
Honorable members, I have to make an announcement. On my own behalf of Honorable Member of the House, I have a great pleasure in extending a warm welcome to His Excellency, Ms. Subaki, Speaker of Japanese Parliament, and other members of Japanese Parliament delegation who are on visit to India as our honored guest. The other members of the delegation are Mr. John Barkau, Deputy Speaker, Mrs. Stella Krishi, also the Deputy Speaker. It is a very high-powered delegation. The delegation arrived on Sunday, 2022. They are now seated in a special box. We wish them happy and a fruitful stay in our country. We also convey them a warm greetings and very best wishes. Through them, Her Majesty, the Royal King, the Prime Minister, and the friendly people of United Kingdom. Now, let us take up the calling attention motion.
थैंक यू माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय। जैसा कि अभी हमारे मित्र ने दिल दहलाने के लिए बहुत कुछ बातें उन्होंने कही और कुछ गंभीर बातें कही, लेकिन वास्तविकता बहुत कठोर है। मैं इस कठोर बात पर आप सभी का ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहती हूँ। इससे लगता है कि सरकार के पास जानकारी नहीं है या जानकारी होने में भी हमारी सरकार चुप बैठी है, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री ने कह दिया था पिछले 70 साल में हमारे देश में कुछ नहीं हुआ, हम आगे बहुत कुछ करने वाले हैं, हम आगे बहुत कुछ परिवर्तन करने वाले हैं। कहाँ है वो परिवर्तन? Where it is? You all have remembered there was a French emperor, Louis XV, who very famously said once that after me the deluge. And I think that our honorable Prime Minister added to prefix and saying that before me the void and after me the deluge. मेरे आने से पहले कुछ नहीं, मेरे आने के बाद बाढ़ आ गई। Wow, what a nice concept! What is a demonetization? I had never seen in my life 1,000 rupee note. What is the actual meaning of it? Which is actually a withdrawal of this note. 86% of our cash transactions are done in these two notes. The country today is living on the transition of 14%. Living because the replacements are not there. The exchanges of money are not there. If I came here with the rupees of 2,000, nobody is willing to take it because the replacement of these notes are not here. So what is the use of this money? Tell us.
Now maintain silence.
And in Bihar, line hotels, not called as dhabas. We are calling simple language dhaba. was deposited by the local BJP unit in the bank. This is the evidence. This is the evidence. Now prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong, sorry, because I have this proof. We all have seen that. And second evidence is here. You saying that we will all get 15 lakh rupees into your account, in my account, into everybody's account. We will get 15 lakh rupees. Where is the 15 lakh rupees? We didn't get. They didn't get. So where is the 15 lakh rupees? The black money. The people are not the misers. They do not keep their money under the bed. So where is the black money, ma'am? You have any answers? No. And I think that Prime Minister is right to clean the pond to kill the crocodiles. But he is forgetting that crocodile can survive on land also. But the small fish have that. On last, I want to say that my senior colleague said that has to be investigated, so that has to be investigated on very serious note. So, Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I want to extend my great duty that this argument has to be responded very immediate note. Thank you.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, पहली बात, यह फैसला लेने के लिए हमारे देश की आर्थिक स्थिति बेहद मजबूत थी। देश में नोटबंदी से भ्रष्टाचार को बड़ा धक्का लगा है और अब डिजिटल माध्यम के इस्तेमाल से अधिक ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ आगे बढ़ने में ही सबका फायदा है। विपक्षी दल उस जमाने की बात करता है जब राजीव गांधी मोबाइल फोन लेकर आए थे, लेकिन मोबाइल फोन से आगे बढ़ते हुए मोबाइल पेमेंट और मोबाइल बैंकिंग के हमारे फैसलों पे उसे ऐतराज है। नोटबंदी का पहला फायदा देश में एक सब्जी बेचने वाले को हुआ है। जहां पहले 52 रुपए की सब्जी होने पर उसे सिर्फ 50 रुपए मिलते थे, वहीं अब उसे पूरे पैसे मिलेंगे। इसके चलते आज सब्जी वाला महीने के 8 से 10,000 रुपए तक बचा रहा है। देश में यदि 40% लोगों के पास भी यदि स्मार्टफोन है, तो वो इन सुविधाओं के इस्तेमाल से देश को आगे बढ़ाने का ही काम कर सकते हैं। अभी तक देश में एक एटीएम की सुरक्षा और उसमें पैसे सप्लाई करने के लिए 5 पुलिस वालों की जरूरत पड़ती है, लेकिन कैशलेस व्यवस्था की तरफ बढ़ने से बैंकों को इस खर्चों से छुटकारा मिल जाएगा और बैंक अपनी आय कम कर सकेंगे। महोदया, नोटबंदी एक सर्जरी थी और इस सर्जरी के लिए हमारे देश की अर्थव्यवस्था पूरी तरह से स्वस्थ थी। आज देश में कारोबारी 15 दिन की छुट्टियां मना लेते हैं। इसका मतलब देश की अर्थव्यवस्था बिल्कुल वैसी ही चल रही है जैसी नोटबंदी का फैसला लेते समय हमने उम्मीद की। देश में मुनाफाखोरी और भ्रष्टाचार की एक समानांतर व्यवस्था चल रही है। नोटबंदी और उसके साथ लागू किए गए कानून से इस व्यवस्था को गहरी चोट लगी है और अब एक बात तो पूरे देश के सामने बिल्कुल साफ है कि देश में अब जवाबदेही का दौर आया है। नोटबंदी का फैसला लागू करने से पहले सरकार कड़े कानून बना चुकी है। देश में भ्रष्टाचार और काला धन के लिए कोई जगह नहीं, क्योंकि ये दोनों ही गरीबों के हक को लूटते हैं।
Thank you, madam. Through you, I want to know what steps are you taking for decreasing air pollution, as everyone is facing health-related issues due to it. My second question is, what are you doing for capital Delhi, which is the most polluted city?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for taking up this extremely important topic in the House. It is unfortunate that in the last few interventions, unnecessarily, we are bringing into this discussion politics, which is absolutely not called for. Ma'am, if we see some of the figures that we are faced with, air pollution kills a child in every 3 minutes in India. This is the seriousness of this topic. Ma'am, if we Google this, we find a list of them, and the most polluted city second is Faridabad, third is Varanasi, fourth is Gaya, fifth is Patna, and sixth is Delhi, followed by Lucknow, Agra, and Gurgaon. Ma'am, if we see, I don't know why we are constantly blaming Delhi. Delhi is definitely the capital of the country, and all the attention is on Delhi. But if we see what the Honorable Minister just now said, that India is home to 14th most polluted city in the world. Ma'am, I don't think this is a blame game. This is not something this government is doing or the party is doing. This is the concern of all of us across parties. And ma'am, this is an issue for which we have called for attention. We are supposed to put in some of our points or suggestions to the ministry. The Honorable Minister has come out with a statement which says that what we are doing. Great, but ma'am, we can't complacent by patting our own back and saying that we are doing a lot. I think we need to do a lot more, and therefore we have to make sure that some kinds of committees formed of some experts, some elected representatives who have ongoing meetings and try to see how we can address this. Ma'am, I just want to make one point here. Even the Honorable Minister comes from the city of Pune. Ma'am, cities are considered to be guzzlers of electricity, guzzlers of energy, and they vomit pollutants. Every city must develop a carbon inventory. Pune is the first city which has done a carbon inventory, made out from which sources the pollutants come, and then start addressing, take an action plan, how we go about this. I would urge the Honorable Minister that everyone should have a plan as to what is inventory and what action is to be taken. My second point is the Constitution of India, while making the 73rd and 74th Amendment, came out with Schedule 12, which mandates what municipal corporation needs to do. This is a problem. We make policies here, we make legislations here, but ultimately, if we want to really take action, it has to be at the grassroots. It has to be at the local self-government. Therefore, madam, the Constitution in its 12th schedule says that every city must develop an urban forest where your carbon emissions, where your pollutants are sequestered. So what are we doing in this respect? I would make an appeal to the Honorable Minister that cities are taking care of plants which are made and trees are grown so that we sequester carbon. Development plans of the city must also ensure that we leave open spaces so that this is taken care of. Last but not the least, madam, awareness is absolutely important. We may work at government levels, we may make policies, we may make legislation, till every single person, every single citizen does not feel it's my problem or it's my responsibility to give a good future to my future generation. I think we will never be able to tackle this. So this has to be taken with great gusto, and I think we all volunteer in this action.
Honorable Minister of Labour to introduce the bill.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I would like to move for the leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 2000 and the Indian Penal Code.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce a bill further to amend Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 2000 and the Indian Penal Code. Those who are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those who are in against will say no. No. I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Leave is granted.
Ma'am, I introduce the bill.
Now, the House will take up the consideration of the Family Bill Code 2020.
Madam Speaker, through you, I beg to move that the bill will provide more effective solution for the family conflict. The government has brought the bill with silent feature. The bill states to ensure at least a family court in each state. The legal counseling will be made completely free of cost and efforts on the direction.
There are several initiatives have been taken to improve the judicial infrastructure of the country, and all the technological advancements have been made. The members that District Judge Conference is being held soon in Delhi, and all the problems related to family court will be discussed. Efforts have been made to look into the problems of children when their parents approach to family courts. Speaker Madam, I am confident that the Honorable Member of the House will welcome the bill wholeheartedly. With this word, I now move that the bill of family court be taken into consideration.
Honorable Speaker Madam, for the bill, I would request the government to take measures to speed up the trial of over 11 lakh pending cases in over 700 family courts across the country.
Madam, what is painful is that the legislation which they have got is full of flaws. There should be a proper interpretation of the proposed amendment. It had to be drafted after consulting women's organizations.
There is a need for increasing number of women's representation in the judiciary so that the number of women judges in the administration will increase.
Need of comprehensive reform of the legal system. There should be a provision for taking care of the elders and children when the family problem is being addressed at the family court. Judges of the family court should be given orientation in dealing with the family problem.
I would suggest that the committee should be at the village level. Social workers, gram sevaks, teachers should be the members of such committee.
The question is that the bill provides for the family code is taken into consideration. Those who are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those who are in against will say no. No. I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted clause by clause consideration.
Ma'am, I move the bill be passed.
Private member regulation.
Madam, I move the following resolution. This House recommends that the government should first take steps to combat effectively the spreading menace of drugs and narcotics, which is degenerative for the nation, especially the younger generation. Second, make institutional arrangement for the rehabilitation of drug addicts. Madam Speaker, drug addiction is one of the greatest problems confronting our country today. It is weakening the country and destroying our youth. Today, drug taking is not an exclusive phenomenon among a selected group of dropouts in big cities. It is now rampant in small towns and even in villages. The tragedy is that even young children are not being spared. You would be shocked to learn that in Mumbai, unexpectedly, innocent children are made addicts by inserting drugs into sweets. I like to place the following suggestions before the government. Firstly, there should be a coordinated action by the various ministers of the government. This menace should be combated by the ministers of finance, home affairs, welfare, law, and health. Secondly, the existing law is tooless, and this is a business in which crores are a of ours, and they are also connected with drug traffickers. This may appear too much for us. Thirdly, the Ministry of Home Affairs should ensure that the drugs are not smuggled into the country through our international borders, and the local police force should also be made to take the issue seriously. Fourthly, the government should also mount an adequate advertisement campaign through newspapers, magazines, TV, radio, etc. And the people should be educated and made aware of the dangers of drug addiction. Thank you. Sir, at the very outset, I thank Mr. Abhimanyu for bringing into focus through this resolution. The enormity of this problem of drug addiction is the rightly set steps or vitality of our society. As the time allotted for this debate is running out, I will not take much more time of this house. I would like to put forward two suggestions. One is that the problem organization should be more conjuring centers run by voluntary organizations. Secondly, I would like to refer to what Mr. Abhimanyu said about the role of the media. I would like to strike a note of caution here that overzealousness on the part of the media may wholly help tempt to on the part of the media more people to take the drugs, whether it has
selective, imaginative publicity. Thank you.
I congratulate the Mr. Abhimanyu as well as the other honorable members who have spoken on the resolution for focusing at the entire public opinion, one of the vital social and the health facing the country today. The purpose of my intervention is only to place the before the House various efforts made by the various departments of the government. Ma'am, I would like to submit that law which brought government which brought about the historic piece of legislation, the Narcotic Drugs and the Psychotropic Substance Act in 1985. Ma'am, the act enacts the punishment of rigorous imprisonment from 10 to 20 years and a fine of 2 lakh rupees for the first time. There has been a sleep rise in the size from November 2020 to January 2022 about the 780 kg of heroin, 8,300 kg of charas, and 23,000 kg of ganja were seized. In the last 3 years, more narcotics and the drugs have been seized than the total figure of 2020. Ma'am, coming to the health side, the facilities of the treatment of the drugs addicts have been inadequate. An expert committee has been constituted by the Health Ministry, and I am happy to announce on the behalf of the government that we are launching a national drug addiction program under the UPC Ministry of the Health. Voluntary organizations have been efficiently in this program as per certain schemes by the Ministry of Welfare. Movements involving students, youth, women, and the other public organizations come to forward and help the government to score the drug abuse. In the view of the efforts undertaken by the government to meet this problem, ma'am, through you, I request Sri Abhimanyu to withdraw his resolution.
Madam, I am grateful to the honorable members for lending support to my resolution. In the view of the assurance given by the honorable minister that a law has already been enacted to deal with this menace, the government should take all stringent measures to deal with this menace. Now, I may be allowed to take my resolution.
Has the honorable member leave of the House to withdraw his resolution?
Yes.
Of the House tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Dear teachers and my dear students, before I say anything further, let's give them once again a big round of applause for all the children and the teachers. Have you ever had this program in the past in the school? No? Is it the first time that we are having? Hats off to you, my dear children. So first time they are having, and if that is the case, they have wonderfully done that. Excellent work that they have done. Because I have seen this youth parliament conducted in different schools, but not boasting, to tell you frankly, in comparison with all those schools which they have been having every year, in comparison with them, our students have been excellent in doing the work today. So congratulations to all of you. Because what I have observed in the youth parliament that has been taken by other schools, they take one particular aspect. But in today's youth parliament which was conducted, it had several aspects. The ministers have been called, non-motion has been passed, bill has been passed, and the several issues have been taken up. All those things have been given there. And the arrangement that you see, I think it's not less than the exact parliament that we have for our country. And that's what we have, and for the arrangements also, congratulations. Now, if you know about this youth parliament, actually it's a kind of web portal. There is a web portal on which each recognized school has to register themselves. The registration period is from 1st October to 31st October. That is the registration period that is. After that, there is a time given for each school to organize such kind of youth parliament in every school, and they need to upload the videos and the photos on this web portal. And this is an initiative taken by the Parliament Affairs Ministry. It's youth parliament. It's an initiative taken by the ministry itself. And this video has been uploaded on this particular web portal, and it is being sent, and the proper scrutiny is done. And scrutiny is done, and the best performance have been selected, and they have been awarded. Not only the best one, but also all the participants, they have also been given the digital certificates. That is the procedure of this particular youth parliament, which is taken by the Indian government. Indian government has taken up this particular venture. But now, this is the first time that we should have done it, this registration. Now I regret for not having done the registration. Surely the organizing team and the school also would have got the recognition. And what happens is that, you know that on some days, especially when something important is given to the children, especially on the Children's Day, or some children have been invited from each school. Depending upon the performance that we after the scrutiny, some students have been invited and they have been chosen and selected from each school, and they have been given the opportunity to sit with the ministers and the MPs and MLAs. That is a procedure. That is the reason this particular venture has been taken up. And last year we had a student here in our school, Divyanshi Rathod. She had taken the TC in between because of the transfer of her father, and she had taken admission in St. Paul's Pari. And they had conducted this particular youth parliament, and she was the one girl who was selected from that particular school, and she had the opportunity to sit with the ministers, and she had raised her own concerns also. Her father, he had sent me the video and the news which had come in the newspaper and the TV. It was something nice to see that our children are coming up with such kind of new ventures and initiative, and for sure next year we will have the registration, because it was something outstanding and excellent. So, at the very outset, I would like to congratulate Nehru ma'am and the teachers who have been involved in preparing these children. I know that we had a very short period of time, and within which you had prepared children for this particular performance. I have been seeing last few days they have been taking practice in the activity hall, and to the core I tell you, they have done wonderfully well. So my dear teachers, I would like to congratulate all of you, and at the same time, once again I would like to congratulate all the students. All of you were excellent. I am not going to take everybody's time, but then all of you, starting from the speaker to the ministers and the MPs and the secretaries, all of you were excellent in doing your work. So once again, congratulations to all of you. And we expect many more ministers and MPs of and here, not only here sitting here, but also among yourselves. We expect all of you to come out, or rather come up in your life with such kind of initiatives in your life. Once again, congratulations to all of you, and God bless you. Yeah, others.